Okay, so here's what we're going to do, guys. Right now, I kind of want to pick this back up from where we left off here from the last training. And where we left it off from the last training was basically going ahead and discussing the areas and uncovering the gap when it comes to long-term care needs, right? And when you think about the gaps covering long-term care needs, I want you to remember insurability. So here's a couple things that I need you guys to remember about insurance claims and odds. There's three things that I told you when it comes to insuring certain things that are a known risk. And then I also brought up about certain things that most people own that they have to have insurance on. And, I need you to regurgitate back to me, well, what were those three things? So, can anybody give me the three things that you have to insure yourself today with?
Your home, your car, and your life.
Hey, good morning, Jackie. Yes, you're correct. Your homeowner's insurance, your car insurance, and a major medical. Okay.
Mhm.
So, Jason, since you started first, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. Why do we have homeowners insurance?
Well, one, banks require it because of a mortgage, um, but also you need a place to live. So if it burns down, then you need to replace it.
Okay, so let's talk about something here for a second, because I need you now to get into the mindset of handling an objection before it becomes an objection. Why does the bank require you to get homeowners insurance?
They want to be able to recoup their money that they lent to you.
Okay, so I want you guys to understand how this system works. You have a bank, you have a home, okay? This bank is lending the money for you to purchase this home, right? Something that's materialistic. So they're going to get an insurance to recoup what was lost. The odds of you using your homeowner's insurance is roughly about 1 in 20. Okay. 1 in 20. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of breaking all this stuff down, but it's roughly about 1 in 20. Now, you have to turn around, and many people have to get, health insurance, right? They're getting health insurance or for any type of major medical claim. So for these retirees that you're talking to, they are already on Medicare, and then they're already picking up a supplemental insurance, whether it's Medicare Supplement or Medicare Advantage. Everybody with me so far? Okay. Well, they got it. Okay. And then when you talk to someone, and remember the very beginning, we're actually inquisitive, like, have you had any major medical surgeries? Have you had this? And anybody's like, oh, yeah, you know what, Matt, I had my hip replacement, or you know what, I had a stent put in, or they're giving you anything and everything that happened to them. Well, that means that individual has already filed a claim. And the odds of filing a major medical claim, it's dropping a little bit, but at the last time I checked, it's between 1 in 10 to 1 in 15. Okay? Those are the odds for major medical. Now, what's the third component there, John?
Of their health insurance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's after the health insurance? You have a homeowner's insurance, you have health insurance, and what's
Car insurance.
car insurance? Great. So, why do you have to have car insurance?
It's law. It's required by law that you have to have car insurance.
Wow. So let me get this straight. Are all three of those required as you
No.
retire over 65?
Um, yeah, I guess yeah, Medicare is required. Homeowners and autos is required. So yeah.
I say that one more time. I want to make sure you're hearing me, right?
Yeah,
So
the Medicare is
we're talking about a car that retirees have that is required by law. Now, the odds of you using an auto insurance, John, is roughly between 1 in 8 to 1 in 5. So let's repeat that again. Homeowners insurance, 1 in 20. Major medical, call it 1 in 15. We'll go high. Okay. Car insurance, 1 in 8. So, materialistic. But boy, we really don't want to take care of your health. We want you to be on your own. Good luck to you. Does something not resonate with people when you think about what I just said? Matt, what are your thoughts when I say that?
Kind of blows my mind a little bit when you put it that way. Just like, wow.
So here's the thing. Unlike homeowners insurance, unlike your major medical, unlike your car insurance, if having insurance for those three makes sense for you, then Jackie, this is a no-brainer. I need you to start using these phrases, these terms, these statistics. Because then you're like, what? Between you and I, we can take a quarter and we can flip it. It's greater than 50%. It's 70%. Remember the wheel of life drawing that I gave you. Each one of us on this call, that wheel of life has spun. We're just trying to figure out whether you land on black or if you land on red. Now, I need that to resonate for a second. Okay? I need everybody now to tell me, okay, I now understand where you're coming from because I get back to, let me share my screen. Number 2. Okay.
Sudie, I don't know if it was you that said this last training or maybe Jason, but
Yeah.
I had a call on Monday. I've been talking with this lady for over a month, and I used that phrase. I said, we insure our homes, we insure our cars, but a lot of people don't think about insuring themselves, and we run into problems when that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
And she's like, it finally clicked when I said that to her because we've been going back and forth. I've been emailing with the financial advisor. He was like,
Yes.
Jackie, I'm not saying that my client doesn't need something like this. I just have questions. I answered all his questions. And then finally she talked with him and he was like, yeah, I think, this would be a good idea for you. And then once I used that phrase, she was like, okay, I want to do the max coverage for home health care, 1,500. And I was on a slump for probably almost 3 weeks. Like it was pretty bad. But I like got my mojo back after that conversation. I'm like, okay, like it makes sense when you word it like that because I feel like people don't think, oh, I do have car insurance, I do have home insurance, but why don't I have insurance on myself for long-term care?
Jackie, you just made me grin from ear to ear because we actually stopped our training to address those questions because you're like, hey, I can't get over this. And then we
Mm-hmm.
went further. But it's more what I'm really happy about is that you are watching, you are listening, and you are applying. It is just going to take repetition to do it over and over and over. And let me tell you something. When we give a presentation and I give it to you, there's no out that you have other than what are you going to tell me? There's a reason why we try to have these dialogues and conversations. So by you stating that, good for you. How much did you, first of all, you protected her, you helped her. When did you
Yeah.
set this up? Was this last week?
No, this was this week. Her premium, she did 1,500. Her premium was 226.34. So
Okay, do me a favor. Take your 226.34. Ready? I want everybody to have some fun with this. Multiply by 12.
2,716 and 8 cents.
Okay, so write down 2,716. Now, take that and multiply it by 45%.
$1,222.
Okay. Listen to me very carefully. You just earned commissions of $1,222 because you listened to the video and you applied it in your training. I'm telling you, this is a cash opportunity if you just regurgitate.
Yeah.
If you talk, I wish my numbers were still showing on amba.biz's sites. Because you will not believe what I'm telling you, but you just have to believe me because these were the numbers that were sitting there. I used to show people my production numbers when I first started at AMBA because there's no way you did that type of volume. Oh yeah. And if I just said, you know what, guys, I'm done. I appreciate your time. I'm going to go be an agent. I will probably do what I want to do within 6 months and enjoy the rest of my 6 months by myself. Because I know how to make $150,000 in 6 months. And
Yeah.
it's not hard. It takes discipline, but it's not hard. So anyway, bravo to you. Now more statistics are coming your way.
Thank you. And yeah, it really taught me to not give up. Even if you don't get the yes, the first call or the first appointment doesn't mean going back and forth through email, through financial advisors. Her son called me. It wasn't like a yes right off the bat. It was talking to multiple people,
Sure.
being patient and persevering.
Well, Jackie, I'm letting you know right now, I will call on you on the Monday morning meeting. So be prepared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, be prepared. But
Okay.
I want to let you know. So when you're going through this, hang on, I think I'll show you. Let me stop this here. Go back here to number 2. Go back to share. You can see the full chart, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So now what I want you guys to understand, oops, sorry, wrong slide. Anytime we deal with hospitalization, Medicare Part A is hospitalization. Oh, let me get through the clicks. Hang on, sorry. Yeah, we're not talking about life insurance today. Okay. But we are going to talk about the first 20 days. Again, Medicare is going to approve all the amounts because remember, you need to keep stating what Medicare pays, what the plan pays, and then what you pay. So Medicare is going to do all but $209.50 per day. Your plan G will pick up to $209.50 per day. And from the 21st day through the 100th day, you will owe $0. But Mrs. Jones, I want you to understand, from the 21st day through the 100th day, you have to be on what they call skilled nursing, okay? If you show any rooms of improvement during the 21st through the 100th day, and they change this from skilled care to custodial care, but you still need help, you're going to fall into this bucket. Because from the 101st day onward, Medicare will pay 0. Click. The plan G will pay 0. Click. And then you will be responsible for all the cost. That's where many of our retirees have their long-term care plans in force. Okay, and I'm going to take off group long-term care, and I'm just going to put long-term care plans in force. Now, Jackie, I don't want to assume, but do you currently already have your long-term care plan in force?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie. Did you not qualify for long-term care, or was it not offered during the school at that time?
I had it when I was still teaching, but I don't think I still have it.
Okay. Now, I want you guys to understand one more thing here, because I'm going to go a little bit deeper on you. Okay? Long-term care in your mind needs to be the first line of defense. I'm sorry, give me 1 second, okay? Hang on for 1 second. Long-term care needs to be the first thing we're trying to push forward. Aetna short-term care will be second. Not a problem. No big deal. We're splitting hairs. They need to have something better than nothing. But when I bring up, did you take it out while you were actively working? Was it offered during the schools? 9 out of 10 times, that's going to be a no. It was not offered at their school. Okay. Because that's something that we and but need to do a much better job on with you guys as field agents so we can start getting active employees enrolling. Number two, did you not qualify based upon your health? You see, I need you guys to think about the questions that I am proposing and use these questions. So, John, from your perspective, when I bring up, this is where many of our retirees have their long-term care plans enforced. So, John, did you get your long-term care plan while you were actively teaching, or did you not qualify? Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is where many of our retirees have their long-term care plans in force. Do you currently have your long-term care plan in force? You tell me no. Then I'm gonna say, oh, I'm
No.
sorry. What was the long-term care plans not offered at school while you're actively working, or did you not qualify?
It
Stop right-
wasn't.
Yep. So stop
Oh.
right there for a second. Why did I only propose those two questions? She told me, no, I don't have long-term care. But then I went into, was it not offered during your school while you're actively working? Or did you not qualify? Why did I only propose these two?
Well, I guess you're setting up where you kind of want to go. No matter what option she goes with, you know which direction to go. But you're also not explicitly saying, or did you look at it in the past and you couldn't afford it because you don't want to kind of put like that negative cost thought into their head.
Well, here's what I'm getting at, and you're getting very, very warm. Okay. The reason why I propose those two questions, like I get stumped. I'm sorry, you don't have a long-term care plan. You're telling me you don't have one. So let me, what I call peel off the onion effect. You just gave me the answer. No, I have no long-term care. My first question I'm going to give you is a softball question. Oh, I'm sorry. And I look puzzled. Was it not offered during your school while you were actively working? And 9 out of 10 times they're going to tell me, no, it wasn't offered. Or did you not qualify because of your health? And sometimes it's a 50-50 crapshoot where they say, I tried to apply, but I got declined. You're going to get one of those two answers. Or the third thing you're going to get is, it wasn't offered during the school, and no, I've never applied for long-term care before. Okay? Don't make them feel bad at that time. Remember, you were trying to give them information based on a Medicare supplemental plan, but you're trying to let them know this is a gap in your coverage. I'm not making up this gap. And remember, I'm not stopping my presentation to do a long-term care presentation right now. I'm not. Because what am I focusing on? Getting that med sup. What am I focusing on? Doing what's right for my client for a consultative sales approach. Remember, this whole training I'm giving you for the next 7, 10, 11, 12 weeks, it's about driving Medicare supplemental sales, right? But it's also about uncovering the gaps and the needs in these plans. So, 2 questions is all I asked. And she tells me no. And then I'm like, okay, not a problem. Hey, you know what, John? Don't worry about it. We'll get back here to in a minute. And then I move on. But what did I just do? I'm going to follow back up on my long-term care. Jason, Matt, Jackie, John. Does everybody understand why I'm doing this type of pitch? If you have any questions, rebuttals, bring it up right now. And let me get back to that screen.
My question is, at the end of this presentation, are we trying to sell a med sup, or are we just going through this presentation and then setting up other appointments to sell products?
At the conclusion of this presentation, I am locking and loading that Medicare supplemental sale.
Okay.
Good question.
If they're on, for example, United Healthcare with Para, their premium didn't go up this year, they're very happy with it. That is a Medicare Advantage plan. Would you not go into this part of the presentation because we're not trying to put them on a supplement if, they're happy with their para.
Yeah, so good question. What Jackie's referring here to today is a state-sponsored plan, okay? So if they're already currently on a state-sponsored plan and it's Medicare rules, this applies basically 90%, exactly like the para plan, okay? If anything, most state-sponsored plans are like a Med Sup or they're like a Medicare Advantage. So no matter which way you go, there's going to be gaps in their coverage. There's no state-sponsored plan that I've ever met that covers experimental treatment when it comes to cancer. There's no state-sponsored plan that covers life insurance when you die. There's no state-sponsored plan that covers long-term care if you're going to need it. And there's no state-sponsored plan that I've ever met covers air transportation or ground transportation. Remember, state-sponsored plans have to follow Medicare rules when they're over the age of 65. Okay, keyword, over the age of 65. So Jackie, to your point, oh, I got a great sponsored plan. Then I would review that sponsored plan just like this. Okay, connect with Jason because they do have an outline of coverage just like this. And then you can actually pinpoint the gaps and where they fall. But it's Medicare's rules. It's exactly the same rules. There's nothing that's going to be different. When I looked at the Texas Retired Teachers Association plan, exact same thing. They
Okay,
all fall under Medicare guidelines.
gotcha. So instead of necessarily sharing that, screen, we would just share their coverage and go through it that way.
You could, or you can literally, and they have a plan like this that shows you the visual, or you can let them know this is where your para plan kicks in. It's going to cover this. This is where your para plan is going to pay for that. Medicare will pay for that, but this is where you're going to be exposed. 100%. Great question.
Thank you.
And Jason, great question. I know because I'm breaking things down section by section by section, but remember, I'm meeting you, and let me get back to the original. I'm calling you, I'm meeting you, because I know there's rate adjustments in your area, in your county, and in whatever. And I'm trying to make sure that are you aware of the updates and changes to Medicare? And they're like, yeah, that's how we set the appointments. And when the appointments are being set, I am trying to uncover their Medicare needs because I know that you may be paying more than what's offered for you today if we can help you. But during the presentation, they may be, even if, Jason, they were good with where they are and their premium was very good with where they are. But all of a sudden, you're starting talking to them like, I didn't even know about that. Then that's where you, as a true benefit advisor, can pivot. You can pivot. But the one thing I don't really truly drill down on hard, this is just me, if I'm dealing with all this talk about Medicare and I'm spending about 45 minutes with them on this chart going all the way through, I can't do a long-term care presentation at that time. It's just too much. But what I can do, Jackie, you got a great state healthcare, sponsored plan, but I uncovered one gap or two gaps. Take full advantage, okay? Because the next transition is going to be exactly what you just said, okay? So let me get to this here. Any other questions first before I get ready to share the screen? Okay. Now, again, we're not trying to make them feel anyway other than, oh, don't worry about it. I'll get you back here in a minute, okay? Now, Mr. Jones, what I do want to let you know here is when you transfer over here to Medicare Part B, these are the medical services. So it's basically, this is the medical expense that comes out of your pocket. And when I say out of pocket, you see here what Medicare approved amounts are, because any type of medical expenses, and I always read this for Medicare Part B, any type of medical expenses in or out of the hospital and outpatient hospital treatment, such as physician services, inpatient and outpatient medical and surgical services and supplies, physical and speech therapy, diagnostic testing, durable medical equipment. You need to understand that once you meet your Part B deductible, one time, click, per calendar year. Okay, once you meet that deductible, Medicare at that point will generally cover 80% of the bills. Your plan, so getting back to what you said earlier, Jackie, the plan that you currently have will generally cover the remaining 20% of the bills. And then you will owe $0. But Jackie, before going any further, why does Medicare state and write right here generally covers 80% of the bills? Why did they put that there? Why didn't they just put that they're going to cover 80% like they do down here? You see how these prices are already locked in? Okay, they're showing you what they're covering. But why did this say generally?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
There you go. So what I need you all to understand is that there's a little bit of a gray area. Okay? Because if Medicare denies a claim, if Medicare does not approve an experimental treatment, if Medicare, like the list can go on and on and on. And because of time, I will revisit this on the next training, going further and deeper. But where I'm getting at here is if I'm dealing with a woman on the receiving end of the line, okay? If it's a husband and wife, if it's a partners, if it's whatever, I generally go, well, Jackie, let me ask you a very simple question, okay? Remember, you're my retiree, you're over age 65, and I just brought this up. So let me repeat this, okay? Again, I'm not going to bore you with reading this all again, but Medicare is going to pay $0. The Plan G will pay $0 because once you meet your Part B deductible one time per calendar year, it kicks in. Then you can go to any physician, any doctors, do whatever, but you have to meet that deductible for $257 one time. Now, from that point, Medicare then will generally cover 80% of the bills. The Plan G will generally cover the remaining 20% of the bills, and then you're going to owe $0. But Jackie, I need to bring to your attention something here very, very carefully here. Why does it state that Medicare will generally cover 80% of the bills? Why doesn't it just put right down here 80%? Because they're letting you know that they're going to cover 80%. Why do they use the term generally cover 80%? Do you have an idea? And then obviously the client's going to tell you, no, actually I don't. Or they may say, ha, Medicare doesn't cover everything 100% at all. And there you go. Because what happens here is something very similar. I want to give you an example. Okay, Mr. Jones? Do you go for your annual mammogram every year? Oh, Jackie, play with me for a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, why do you go for your annual mammogram?
Because after the age of 45, my doctor requires I come in once a year to
Okay.
make sure I don't have breast cancer.
Oh, okay. So it's for preventative reasons for cancer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what cancer policy do you currently have to cover you for that?
I currently don't have anything.
Okay, Jackie, let me make sure I understand this correctly. You're going in for something preventative to cover something if you got detected early on, and that's great. But you don't have something to protect you if cancer, click, were to strike. Did I just understand that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Jackie, I want to bring something to your attention because Medicare is going to do what it's supposed to do. Okay. But sometimes the treatment and sometimes the therapy and sometimes the medications take a lot out of you, but it's approved by Medicare and Medicare will do its part. However, today, the treatments are in and out. The treatments are deemed by Medicare to be experimental treatments. The treatments may be deemed to be, hey, we don't cover that type of prescription drug because it hasn't gone through all 3 phases of the FDA. So there's certain things that you don't know. And these are things that are uncovered. So let me bring something here to your attention. This is according to the American Cancer Society. Okay? So this is something that we're not making up. This is what actually happens. And it's titled right here, Cancer in Medicare. Some of the major questions that are being proposed today is how long, and let me just read these questions, okay? This is not going to be my presentation. How long would I need to be treated? Will what I owe out of pocket start all over again next year? How much do you think the total cost of suggested treatment will be? Are there any treatment options that might cost less? Are the options likely to work as well? Or other options are likely to work as well? For each of my treatment options, how much will I have to pay myself? Does my health insurance company need a pre-approved or pre-certify any part of treatment before I start? Is there any way that I can get help paying for my treatment if I need it? Who can I talk about financial assistance or help setting up for a payment plan? If I am taking oral chemotherapy by mouth, how much can I expect for prescriptions to cost? Are there any patient assistance programs that can help me pay for the cost of my prescriptions? What other medicines might I need along with my cancer treatment? Will I need other prescriptions to help manage side effects? How do I find out how much those prescriptions will cost me? How likely am I to have to stay in the hospital for any of my treatments or side effects? Will my insurance company need to pre-approve or pre-certify any services that I get during my hospital stay? How much might my stay cost? Will I need services such as physical therapy or home health care services after I leave the hospital? I'm going to stop right there. If you, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 bullets. Hang on for 1 second. There's 8 bullets, but those 8 bullets had numerous amounts of questions. Concises, Matt. What was the majority of those questions asking? In a nutshell.
How are you going to pay?
That's it. Everybody wants to know what on God's earth just happened here. Now, I try to always, and you have to always be sympathetic for what I'm about to tell you. Okay? When I was talking to Mrs. Jones, and she's going in for preventative care, and she told me, John, I go there for preventative, da-da-da-da. Okay, great. And what cancer policy do you have to take care of you if you were to get diagnosed? She goes, I don't have one. And then you let her know, well, let me make sure I understand straight. You're going in for preventative reasons. Okay? And if something were to happen, right, you're letting me know that you don't have any additional insurance to cover you in the event that something has to come out of pocket. And no, that's right. And I let them know, and I hit these questions, right? So these are some of the questions initially. But pretend like I clicked through all of this cancer stuff, okay? I'm not going to bore you with the transitions right now because of the time. I am going to make sure that I dive deep into this. But I need you now to get to Medicare Part B for this training. And you're going to see what I'm going to do when I click the slides. Okay, but I see I have 15 minutes. So let me let you know what I say after I click through the slides. Okay. I see, Ms. Jones, one thing I'm going to let you know here is this. According to the American Cancer Society, 93% of cancer is either from the air we breathe or the food we eat, because everything is environmental. Okay, it depends on your surroundings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you this. For those of you who live in a state that actually has farmland, you need to understand that when they spray pesticides, because I used to live in Indiana, I got this from the farmers, I got this from everywhere, those pesticides travel a minimum of 100 miles. Okay, from the wind blowing. So even though that farmland may be way the heck out there, whatever it is that they do comes back over here. Okay? And I'm not going to get into the weeds of all the other stuff, but I'm just giving you an idea. So I let them know, or I let her know, that Ms. Jones, let's say that you did go to the hospital, okay? And you went for your annual mammogram. And the doctor I'm going to let you know how simple these plans are, okay? And I'm giving her a paraphrase of what I'm going to tell you. If you go to the doctor and they brought you back And then all of a sudden they had to do a biopsy on you. And they found something positive and they brought you back in and they found out it was cancerous. It may not be the happiest day of your life. That I understand. But the first thing you need to understand is you need to fight this. Okay? And you will, because the treatments are amazing today. You hear how I'm wording this? You need to fight this. Because today, Mrs. Jones, the treatments are amazing. The last thing you need to figure out is, how am I going to afford to pay for it? That's the least of your worries. And the good news here, on behalf of your state association, they have true negotiated rates that can help you with this because of what, and then I've referenced back a few other things. Sometimes in the presentation, you're going to have to be their friend. Sometimes in this presentation, you're going to have to be their lawyer. Sometimes you're going to have to be their doctor. Sometimes you're going to have to be their therapist. But you need to make sure what I'm telling you, do not forget to bring up cancer. Now, John, I made my life on cancer policies. Okay? I want you to do me a favor. Type in $50 times 12 is $600 a year, right? 40% of $600 is how much?
240.
Okay. And you are advanced 9 months of the $240. So take your 240, divide it by 12, multiply by 9. What's your advancement?
180.
Take 180, multiply it by 4. What do you get?
720.
My objective every single week was to have a minimum of 4 cancer policies, whether it was a husband or wife. Everybody bought one. Okay. But I wanted to make sure that I had true advancements in my pocket. Clean, because guess what? When they run the MIB, the Medical Investigation Bureau, and you've never been diagnosed with cancer, it's a quick, easy issue. It comes fast for these cancer policies. Okay. The person that I interacted with, I'm not going to mention her name. Jason, she was probably doing this for about 8 years at that time. And then it went from 8 years to 10 years. But on her 8-year, she was roughly averaging about 7,000 to 8,000 in renewals on cancer policy. Renewals. When she was here for broke over 10, 15, she was at 20,000 in renewals a month on cancer policies. She became so convinced about cancer because you're going to hear more about how, well, case in point on this call, how many of you know that somebody who's ever been diagnosed with cancer? Raise your hand. Raise your hands. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 5. Pretty damn high statistics, right? So so John, do you know of anybody who's ever been in a long-term care facility? Jackie, you know anybody in a long-term care facility?
Yes.
Okay. Matt, you know anybody in long-term care?
No.
Jason, do you know anybody in long-term care?
Yes.
So watch that flipped. 1 out of 5. So wait a minute, we just went 4 out of 5. Excuse me, 1, 2, 3. We went 3 out of 4, and then we flipped 1 out of 4. Now, the thing is, when it comes to long-term care versus cancer, it's sad, but they state that it's not if you get it, it's when you get it. Okay, that sucks. So I don't know about you, but I got a $100,000 policy for me and my family already. Okay, I locked mine in a long time ago. My dad locked his in my dad still spends $24.50 for his cancer policy back in 2004. And Jackie, when I was first starting off as a new agent, I'm like, Dad, you got to get this. Like, I need you to get this. So I got him like a $10,000 lump sum plan way back in the day. And Jason, it is still $24.50. So the point of where I'm getting at is they're locking you in based upon your health. Now, I'm going to go through this pretty quick, okay? And then I'm going to, where did my cursor go? Oh, I got to downsize that. Darn it. Okay, let's try this again. Ready? Okay, everybody can see it right here?
Yes.
What I need you to do for homework, and this is going to be something that I want everybody to understand. I need you to select 3 or 4 questions that you like. Okay? Because I want to make sure that we get into this transition for Cancer. Now, after you hit your 3 to 4 questions, click, oops, excuse me. After you hit your 3 to 4 questions, click, and then you're going to look right here at this chart. And you're going to see the age is broken down from 1 to 24, 25 to 44, 45 to 64, and 65 plus. Okay? Of more than 1.7 million new cancer cases expected to be diagnosed back in 2023, over 1 million of those cases are expected to be diagnosed for individuals over the age of 65. Okay? Hit it, click. Now, the distribution of cancer, as you can see, Mr. Jones, as you get older, the probability gets much greater. And during that period of time, click, you're going to see that the median cost of cancer by stage within the first 6 months of treatment. And these costs, as you can see here, from $30,000 up to $240,000 is all these treatments are being caused, whether it's stage 1 up to stage 4. Again, Medicare, and I try to reassure them, Medicare will still do its part, but to a certain extent, and I'm going to get to it here in a minute. Now, as you can see, when it comes to the costs, the healthcare spending of cancer is generally higher after the cancer diagnosis and in the last year of life. So you can see here, this is the initial stage, and this is the ending stage. And so we want to make sure that you know that there's things to try to help you in this process, but there's costs associated when it comes to this type of treatment. And as you can see right here, the expenditures for cancer care, it's not getting any cheaper. Matter of fact, if anything, it's getting a little bit more expensive today than it was 10 years ago. Now, the one thing, oops, excuse me, I accidentally hit my button.
Judy,
Yes, sir.
I have to take off. I have a client who just joined another Zoom meeting.
Oh, no. You go right ahead, brother. Good luck to you, Jason. Thank you again for this morning. And ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to respect the time here. Jason just jumped off. I was going to ask a few other questions with everybody on the call. I'm going to stop right there for 1 second, okay? Now, let's do a quick recap. I got about 6 minutes here with you. I recapped something that Jackie brought to everybody's attention today. She applied homeowners insurance, major medical, and car insurance. You got a 1 in 20, 1 in 15, and 1 in 8. Okay? If insuring that makes sense to you, then this is a no-brainer. Like, the odds are much greater. That's number 1. And then number 2, we are now transitioning into cancer, okay? Covering a gap where it needs to be covered. Because it's one thing talking about it, it's another thing showing them from the American Cancer Society. It allows their brains and wheels to start to think, okay? But again, what they need to understand is that Medicare will still do its part, but to a certain extent. And we're going to go a little bit deeper and deeper and deeper. I am a big advocate for the first diagnosis cancer policies. That should be number 1. The cancer treatment policy should be number 2. Why do you want, and anytime I encounter someone that's like, oh yeah, well, I have a cancer treatment plan. Oh, that's great, John. But do you have the foundation of the lump sum? What is the lump sum that you get if you got diagnosed with cancer? And they're like, what do you mean lump sum? Because see, what happens here, if you got diagnosed with cancer within less than 30 days or less, once they get that medical report, once they see you got diagnosed with any form of internal cancer or malignant melanoma, they will turn around and just cut that check ASAP. It's gone. Now you got an infusion of $20, $30, $40, $50,000 up front. Now you can go do what you need to get done immediately. Now the cancer treatment plans, the way those work, Matt, you're going to have to go through the treatment first. And then, Matt, you will then have to fill out the 8 to 10 pages of claim forms that comes with it every single time you do a treatment to be reimbursed on the policy schedule. Okay? Now, it works. It's great. They do its part. And they continue to keep paying. But as you get older, do you really want to be fine? I would never forget this retired. He goes, I am so mad. I have to fill out claim forms just to be reimbursed. That sucks. So, one and done up front. Okay? They can use that for the prescription. We'll go through it further. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I just need you to understand, start looking at the cancer lump sum policies. If you look at a 10,000, and every time that I would show a plan, I'm letting you all know today, you show a 20,000, you show a 30,000, and you show a 50,000. Those are three. Okay, 20, 30, 50. The way you get very good at knowing what you can sell, remember the very beginning of the warm-up. When I did my nest egg, I found out about their portfolio. I know what you can and cannot afford. I want to, so everybody understand, I want to get you a med sub, save you on the rates, and then we have found money, right? And Jackie, sometimes my $50, $70, or $80 that I saved them, now they're still getting the med sub, but now they have a cancer plan built into it. Okay? And it's like, this is a no-brainer. We're going to go further into that. Team, thank you again for your time this morning. I will get back with this. Are you? Oh, sorry, Jackie. I saw you come off mute.
Yes, thank you so much. I was just gonna say really quick, when I've been going through my presentation, to be honest, because I don't really know the cancer policies as well as I should, when I ask the question, does cancer run in your family? And they say no, I've just been blowing it off.
Good.
And
Does cancer
and
run in your
it's
family? They say, no, it doesn't. Say, well, that's good to know. Because only 7% of cancer is hereditary.
right. And the fact that you just taught me today 93% is environmental and with the pesticides, like I just have to thank you for doing these trainings because I feel like I learn so much every single week where I feel more confident and prepared to actually talk about subjects because I have more information.
I appreciate it, Jackie. Look, my main thing of giving my time is giving back to you guys. And really, I need you all to spread that type of positivity and training, not only to your clients, because it's the reason why we do what we do, but it's also within the team. And it's not about me. But I have a lot of institutional knowledge that if you're not successful, shame on me. And so I want to make sure that I give you everything. And that's why each of you guys get these videos. You get to keep these videos. You're housing this. You just have to take the time out to be disciplined to do what you're doing. And for you and for the team, I thank you. So I'll get ready to stop here. I got to jump on another call, but thank you so much for those kind words, Jackie. I appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, team.
Thanks, JD.
Apply, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.